Hello everyone and welcome to iBasiac, my YouTube channel for all your vacuum cleaner news, views and reviews. Well, today's the first of what I'm calling my classic collection. So basically I'm just going to go through some of my older vacuums and redo some videos that I've done in the past. If you check back on my previous videos, you'll see that I've already featured this particular vacuum cleaner, the Hoover Vortex with triple vortex system. But it was a while ago and I hadn't got high definition back then, and it was a bit shaky and I wasn't very happy with it. It was good enough for back in the day, but now I think it's time I updated a few of those old videos. So this is going to be the first one. So it's mainly for you collectors and enthusiasts, because this is not a machine you can buy at the moment currently. Unless you have a time machine, you may be able to get them second-hand on eBay, but they are not a current model, which is a shame because they had a lot going for them. But I'll explain everything in this video. So first of all, I'm going to take you on a guided tour of the cleaner, show you every part that I can show you, and then we'll do a demonstration, put plenty of dirt down, pass the machine back and forth, and we'll see if this older vacuum cleaner can perform as well as the machines we have today. So without any further ado, let's get on with the tour. Starting at the top of the machine, we can see this rather unusual D-shaped handle, which Hoover call an easy move multi-grip handle, which basically means you can hold it in various different positions according to how comfortable it is for you. So, as you can see, it's easy to push. This is the sort of position most people would hold it in. I can't really see, but you could hold it lower. I don't suppose you'd hold it that low, but you could hold it midway or at the top. I think that's probably the most comfortable position, certainly is for me. So that's the first feature to look at, the handle. Now at the back of the handle you see an extension wand, and inside the extension wand we've got the scabbard crevice tool, and on top of the extension wand we have this little orange glamour cap. Now this serves absolutely no purpose apart from it looks nice. It's a cosmetic feature. So to use the extension tube you do have to remove that. Now I'm sure that that is one of the first things that got lost when people owned this machine or similar vortex machines, because once you've taken it off, put it down, it just goes. So you can possibly get spares of those. If you don't have that on, you just have a hole, but it's just, as I say, it's cosmetic. So inside the handle, like I say, we've got the extension tube, and inside the extension tube we've got Hoover's scabbard crevice tool, and of course you can attach the crevice tool to the end of the extension wand in order to get into your nooks and crannies. And when you've finished, they snuggles back neatly inside like that, and then pop on the glamour cap onto the top, and as you can see, you can just about make out, we've got Hoover Design Right written on each tube. Then that pops back into the top of the handle like that. Moving a little bit further down, we have a nice large orange hand switch, which is for your automatic cord rewind. The cord's located at the back, quite high up, so you're not tripping over it. That's a good feature. And when you've finished vacuuming, you just press on this switch here and the cord retracts. A very handy feature, pretty common on a cylinder vacuum cleaner, but not so common on an upright for some reason. But it's still very handy to have. It saves you having to wind the cord up manually. On the back of the machine we have the two further cleaning tools. This is your all-purpose nozzle with a brush at the back, so that's for doing your stairs, upholstery, your curtains, that sort of thing. Pretty standard nozzle from Hoover, fairly good one, and that just clips neatly back in there, and it has a nice firm click, so there's very little chance of those tools falling out, but also they're not really difficult to remove. Sometimes tools on board vacuum cleaners, either the tools are dropping out all the time or they're so stiff that they're really hard to take out, but Hoover for this model I've got it just right. And on the other side got dusting brush. It is a little bit stiff for delicate items, but you could certainly do your shelves, your tops of your pelmets, tops of your skirting boards, that sort of thing. Branded, of course, with the Hoover logo on the side. And again, that just clicks in really easily like that. Moving slightly down, and on the back of the machine we've got this orange handle. Well, it's two functions really. It is the handle for the machine, so this is where you'd lift the machine up to carry it up the stairs. But the other function it serves is to support the attached hose that lives on board. So it just fits on the top there. A little bit further down we've got your main hand operated on-off switch. You can see it's a very large button. So you just press that once to turn on and press it again to turn the machine off. And on the other side we have a filter. That's housed underneath here. Let's move the vacuum there so you can see it. This is one of the filters. It's got a little bit of dust on. It's just basically a very coarse sponge filter. You can actually wash that, leave it to dry, and then pop it back in the machine. And then that just goes back in the top there. Not that way up. Push it down, and then this cap goes back on securely like that. Now we're getting on to the business end of the vacuum, where we have the dust collection container, of course in a transparent plastic. And to access this, there's a little lever here, so we just have to move it to one side, and then the container drops, and you just remove it via the handle, and you tip all the dirt into the bin. Underneath the container we've got this little pad. It's not a filter, it's basically a seal to help seal the machine's suction when you've got the container in, and when you've got the, let me show you what I mean. When it's in and you put it back, it just helps create a seal at the top to keep the suction and of course keep the dust in. But we need to remove that for now. So that's, as I say, it's basically a seal. Now this under here is the shroud. It's hidden on this machine. On many machines nowadays you can actually see this part. So that shroud just comes off. You can rinse that in water, and of course all the workings of the triple vortex system are just above the shroud. So once you've given that a clean, because that could get hairs and dust caked on it, you can rinse that, dry it, then it just pushes back up basically until it stops. There's no lock, you just push it, you don't twist it to lock it in place, it just pushes up and it's in place. Now underneath here we have access to the exhaust Hepa filter. There's a little orange dial, so we need to turn that to the unlocked position. Then this lifts off, and this is where we have the Hoover Hepa filter. This is washable as well. It's two parts. It's got a sponge part in the middle which you can take out, which you should take out. So of course you can rinse that, squeeze it out, leave it to dry, and this one is also rinsable under the tap. Again, it must be thoroughly dry before putting back in the machine. Then you need to reassemble it, put the foam filter back inside like that. And then of course underneath here, that's where the motor's housed. So we need to reassemble the filter. So the Hepa filter goes in first. We've got two little cutouts either side. You need to line them up with two lugs. Make sure it goes in correctly. There's only one way this goes in. Once it's in place, we just turn the little dial to the locked position. Pop the little seal back on top. And then put the bin in. Hang on a minute. That's it. I hadn't put the shroud in correctly. Turn it. This little lip here needs to be turned round so the handle is right at the back, and then we just put that slide lever right to that side so it's now firmly in place. This is the foot operated handle release, and it's a far better design than the one that Hoover offer on their Pure Power and Dust Manager uprights, which are still current models. I don't know why they didn't adopt this design. It's a lot stronger than the Pure Power, which does tend to fail. So it's foot operated, but I'll operate it with my hand for the purpose of this. So you press it once to release the handle to the operating position, and then you press it again to release it to the low furniture cleaning position, for cleaning under low furniture. And it's quite a secure locking system, so when it's in the upright position it does feel that it's locked securely. That is a much better design. So Hoover really need, I don't know why they didn't, but they need to adopt that design on their Pure Power models, because it fails continually, the little round button that they have on their current machines. Now we're right at the bottom of the machine, and this is the Hoover Carpet Care Control. So you can select the height of the cleaning head from short pile carpets right up to luxury carpet and tool mode. So basically for most UK homes you would have it on short or medium setting. For long pile carpets and also hard floors it's that setting, and if you've got very, very long pile carpets, luxury carpet, it goes on the highest setting. But also when you're using the cleaning tools you want to make sure that the brushes are raised off the floor, but they are off the floor anyway, because when the machine's in the upright position the cleaning head raises, so the brushes aren't continually brushing the carpet if you're using the cleaning tools. Now personally I like to have a machine where you can adjust the height of the cleaning head. Most modern vacuum cleaners, the likes of Dyson, Vax, some of the most popular ones, they have a floating head, which the manufacturers claim is an advantage, but it's not if you've got lightweight rugs or very thick pile carpets and the machine's hard to push. You do need a way of raising the brush. So Hoover have their, used to be called their height right control. On this model it's called Carpet Care Control. Well, finally, before the demo, I'll show you the business end of the vacuum cleaner. This is Hoover's Activator. Now this, combined with a powerful suction, is what removes the dirt from your carpets. Now as you can see, it's got pretty good brushes. They're spiral brushes and they're designed to sweep the dirt into the strongest part of the airflow, which on this machine is this side. So as the brushes rotate, obviously to high speed, they sweep the dirt and litter along this way and into the tube and then into the bag. Now this is not bad. The brushes on this particular Hoover Activator aren't as stiff as say on the original Activator cleaners, which were the Turbo Powers. So they're a little bit soft, but they're not too bad. But what a lot of vacuum cleaners don't have nowadays, this actually has some beater pads. Instead of a beater bar, Hoover used to feature their beats as it sweeps as it cleans action. We still have a beating action, but it's these raised plastic parts of the agitator that help to beat out embedded grit from the base of your carpet. And you'll find a lot of vacuum cleaners now do not have any sort of beating action. Not sure why they've discontinued that, but the old way was the best way in my opinion, to have a beater bar or beater pads to really get the deep down dirt from your carpet. So that's the business end. You've got two fixed brushes either side. On some models of Pure Powers, the earlier ones, they actually had a spinning brush here, but this particular model, the Vortex, just has either side two sets of static green brushes. Now before I do the demo, I'll just quickly turn it on and you can see the brushes rotating. So obviously they're going very, very fast. So fast that you can't see the brushes. Even though they're red, they just completely disappear. So hopefully, once I've put down all my bag of filth onto this carpet, we'll see how well this old girl performs. It's a relatively low wattage motor. It's 1350 watts max, or 1150 watts, it varies. 1150 to 1350 watts. This is model V2000 if you're interested. And the serial number of this particular one is 376 51056. Then there's 00809112. And this was made, it says made in EC on the label, but I'm pretty sure that this particular machine was manufactured in Hoover's Cambuslang plant in Scotland. So it's one of the good old UK made machines. Right, we've seen everything. I've shown you the features, I've shown you the business end. Now let's show you this machine cleaning. Before I test the Hoover Vortex on general dirt, I thought I would just see how it copes with rice alone. Now, a lot of demonstrations actually feature rice because it's a good particle to show the agitation of a vacuum. They show up well on camera, and you can also see how far they vibrate ahead of the machine. So we can have a rough guess at how well it will be at cleaning deep down dirt, because if it vibrates the fibres of the carpet, it's helping to dislodge the dirt that's trapped at the base of the pile. So I'm just going to pass the vortex backwards and forwards over the middle of this rice, and also do some close-up shots, and we'll get right down to the nitty-gritty, if you excuse the pun, and we'll see how well it vibrates the carpet. As you can see, it's more or less picked up all the rice in its path. There is, I have to say, one tiny piece there and a little bit just out of camera shot. But all in all, it's done very well. But I didn't notice how well it was agitating the pile. So we'll do a close-up shot of the next section and we'll see if it really does beat as it sweeps. Well, I didn't actually spot any real agitation from my point of view. I don't know if you saw any. I don't think it agitated the pile at all. But it picked up mostly everything down on the carpet. Obviously there's bits here, but I didn't go over that area. But the area I cleaned, it did pick it up. So it still did an effective job. Now, I've had enough of the rice, so it's time to get the real dirt on this carpet. And it's time for the Hoover Vortex to deal with Ibasiak's bag of filth. Well, here it is. Some of the contents of my bag of filth. This is the sort of thing I test modern vacuum cleaners on, vacuum cleaners you can buy today. So we're going to see if this Hoover Vortex is going to cope with this mess. Now, I've thrown the rice back down as well that I picked up earlier, but also we've got quite a lot of pet hair, this golden retriever hair here. We've got some carpet fibres, rug fibres, lots of bits of paper, there's dust in here, and I can see there's remnants of other demonstrations. I've just spotted a toenail clipping, a rolled oat. There's couscous in here. I expect there's some flour and sugar as well. Basically, from all the demonstrations I've done, I've just saved all this mess up. And this lovely, lovely, hardly used Hoover Vortex is going to have to cope with it. But don't worry, once it's all been removed, I will be cleaning up the Vortex and restoring her to almost mint condition. But there's no point in having a brand new, almost unused vacuum cleaner. She doesn't get a chance to clean up some dirt in her lifetime. So, here we have about probably maybe a month's worth of dirt in a standard home. We're going to have to try and pick it all up in one go. But of course, just like my other demonstrations, I'm going to pass the Vortex forward and back through the middle of this dirt. We'll evaluate the results, and then I will attempt to clean up the rest of this. Here we go then, I've got the Vortex on the short pile carpet setting, and it's with some trepidation that I recline the handle to the operating position, press the big orange power button and pass the Hoover Vortex backwards and forwards through all this dirt. Here goes nothing. Well, as you can see on the forward pass it did leave a fair bit, but on the backward pass it managed to remove a lot more. And in general, upright vacuum cleaners especially do tend to clean better on the reverse cleaning pass than on the forward. Now it's not perfect, and I'm not going to pretend it is perfect, because we can see, I don't know if you can see it from this angle, I'll show you it from another angle, but it has a definite line of shame. Obviously where the belt is located, where there's no agitation or grooming action with a brush, it has left the dirt. Obviously overlapping your strokes will avoid this on any vacuum cleaner that suffers from a prominent line of shame like this Hoover Vortex does. From this angle it's a little bit easier to see the dirt the Vortex missed. Let's kneel over there. Try and kneel over all this muck here underneath. You can see here, this is the line, the main line of dirt that was missed on the forward and reverse pass. But on the bits where the agitator goes, I mean, when, you know, we're looking really close, there are bits left. So I'm not sure what rating this would get nowadays. Certainly won't be an A or a B, it might be a C rating. But of course the carpet cleaning ratings that we get now on vacuum cleaners just relate to dust. They don't relate to pet hairs or any other type of dirt. It's just a specific type of dust that's put down on a carpet. So it doesn't always judge how well it cleans hairs, and that's often a problem for a lot of people, pet hair removal. Anyway, it's not bad. Not perfect, but it's okay. Right then, let's get some more of this dirt cleaned up. Let's move the machine along to the other, let's move it here. We'll do some regular cleaning now. Not one forward and one reverse, I'm just going to use the machine as I would normally vacuum. It took a few passes, but as you can see, all the dirt has been removed by the Hoover Vortex. Where is all the dirt? Well, again, if we pan up, look at the back of the machine, that's where all the dirt is, in the bin. So you want to see all the dirt, don't you? Well, it's all in here, and if I look, it actually isn't quite up to maximum fill line. Well, not on the front anyway. It's a pretty large capacity, but Quite a lot of static being generated by this. There's dust flying off. I don't know if you can quite see it, but there's little bits of dust flying off, and they are adhering themselves to the vacuum. So a lot of static electricity is being built up, obviously with the spinning action. But there is all the dirt that was just a few moments ago on the carpet. So pretty impressive. Let's tip it out, shall we? Move the machine away. We don't want it all over the machine. And we'll tip out this dirt. All you can see now is a close-up of all the dirt. Any of you who don't like dirt won't like to look at this, will you? But never fear. In the modern world we have vacuum cleaners. So I'm going to attempt to pick up all this dirt, certainly the dirt that you can see, using the suction of the Hoover Vortex. I'll have to be careful not to block the machine because it will be easily blocked, so we'll give it a go anyway. And to finish the job, because it's going to take too long to go like this, I'm going to attach the all-purpose nozzle, and we'll just remove the rest of this, hopefully. That looks clean to me. Not too bad. Have I missed anything? I can't quite see in the viewfinder. There are a few bits that are off camera, but the bits you can see are nice and clean. Right, I've never tested the Vortex on a hard floor, but I might as well while I've got the machine out. Let's give it the full works. I'll test it on hard floors. I don't think it's going to do very well. And then I'll see how far the Vortex will reach up the stairs. Well, I've come into the kitchen. I've spread some of the contents of the dirt container back on the floor, and I'm going to pass the Hoover Vortex forward and back through the middle of the mess. Now, I'm not a fan of using uprights on hard floors, especially uprights that you can't turn the brush roll off. But nevertheless, because this Hoover Vortex does have a hard floor setting on the cleaner head, I'm going to use it on the hard floor setting and see how it does. Okay, here goes. Well, predictably, it didn't do very well, but it hasn't done bad. It's left quite a bit here for some reason. Obviously you can see where it's left bits, but it did a lot of scattering. There's some rice here, and it was scattering a lot of that around the place. So it's not very good really at hard floors, but then again I didn't expect it to be. The performance might be better if I was to lower the brush to say medium or even short pile carpet, but I don't want to risk damaging the floor. This isn't my floor, so I'm not going to risk it. I'm just going to leave it at this. So it's fair to middling for hard floors, but then again I don't really like to use an upright on a hard floor. I'll be cleaning the rest of this up using a cylinder cleaner when I've finished this demonstration. Well, you find me at the foot of my stairs. Well, they're not my stairs, they're my mum's stairs, but anyway, I'm still at the foot of them. And this particular staircase, I believe, is 1, 2, 3, 4, I should have counted before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the top step, which is the landing, is 13. So pretty standard. They are a little bit steeper than the stairs I have at home, the stairs that are mainly featured on my videos. I don't know if that makes any difference, but it's 13 steps if you include the top step on the landing. Well, let's see if this stretchy hose on the Hoover Vortex will actually reach up the stairs. The hose actually is quite high up on the machine, and there is a little stabiliser you need to use, but not for stair cleaning. I'll just show you the stabiliser that we need to use when you're using the tools for, say, doing your upholstery. So if we look down here, there's a little hook, and actually attached to the hose is this little rubber doobry, for want of a better word. And basically, when you're using the machine, in order to stabilise it, you need to actually hook this little rubber device over the little hook at the bottom of the machine. So now the hose comes out nearer the bottom, which means, in theory, you should be able to pull the machine along, or at least it won't topple. It will move along. It won't topple when you're using the hose for, say, doing your sofa. But when we're cleaning the stairs, we don't want that on because we want to have the extra reach. So we just disconnect it, and then we can clean the stairs because, let's just move the camera up. Ta-da! This is the elbow where the hose joins the machine. It does moves up to the top, so that's useful if you're cleaning up high. If you want to reach up high, say you're cleaning, you're dusting the cobwebs up high shelves, that gives you just a little bit of extra reach. But for stair cleaning, I'm going to turn the machine round, and as you can see, the hose comes out quite high up on the machine. So I'm going to go up the stairs and see how far the vortex will reach. Right, so I've attached the all-purpose nozzle directly to the end of the hose handle because I want to see if the Hoover Vortex will stretch up the stairs without having to attach the extension tube. But if you look at the hose, it is very, very stretchable. I would say it extends to at least 4 times its compressed length. And if you just look at that tiny piece of hose there, between my finger and where it enters the handle, and then I'll stretch it. As you can see, it goes from that to that, just that tiny part. So I don't think I'm going to have much trouble reaching up to the top of the stairs. So here I go. Let's see if I can go up 13 steps with ease using the Hoover Vortex. No problemo. Can you still see me? Probably can't see my face. Hope you can still hear me. But yes, this is the 13th step, which is the landing in this house, and I can easily clean this. There's no problem reaching up, and you'll see there's still a lot of slack left in this hose, so it is very good. It is a very good hose attached to this vacuum cleaner. But I know what some of you are saying. Well, with my vacuum cleaner, I often fight with it when I've got the machine turned on and I'm stretching the hose out up the stairs. Often the suction's so powerful it can pull the hose back in, and you're sort of fighting with it to keep hold. Anyway, before I get any complaints saying you didn't test it with the machine on, because I know a lot of you speak like that. Anyway, I'm going to turn the machine on and just see if I'm going to be struggling to hold on to the end of the hose without the machine constantly wanting to retract it. So here goes. Nope, that was pretty easy. I mean, obviously the suction may not be as powerful as some machines we get now, but it's more than adequate for cleaning stairs. And yes, even with the machine running, I had no trouble reaching right to the top. Well, of course, I couldn't go without showing you the automatic flex rewind. Let's see how efficient it is at recoiling all the flex into the machine. Not too bad, not too shabby. It's done everything I expected it to do. Well, there she is, the Hoover Vortex, looking a little bit dirtier than she did at the start of the video. But don't worry, old girl, all this dirt will soon be history. I'll be giving you a thorough clean, a polish, and then you'll be put back into semi-retirement. for probably quite a few years. I think we've seen everything we need to see of you. I've also taken some photos of this machine, some behind the scenes photos, which you'll find if you follow my Facebook page. I have a Facebook page called iBasiac. Just go on Facebook, search iBasiac and you should find it, or you'll see a link to my Facebook page under this video. So if you like the page, you'll be updated on your news feed when I add some new information. And if you like vacuum cleaners, you'll see a lot of different things on there, but all related in general to the humble domestic vacuum cleaner. So from the first video in my classic collection, it's goodbye from me, and I'll see you very soon.